one that you're going live?
Nope. Hey everybody, as it says in the thumbnail, we're making pigs in a blanket today. And it's actually not my recipe at all. It's one that I found on HighFalutin Low Carbs website, his YouTube channel. I follow him and watch all his videos. And he made a keto pigs in a blanket with a fathead dough that he got a recipe from Low Carb Yum. And he just added some spices to it. So I'm going to be doing that. And of course, we can't just have pigs in a blanket for dinner. So we went camping this weekend and we have some leftover vegetables that we need to eat up before they go bad. So I got salad, I got some lettuce, some tomatoes that were chopped up, and I have some Brussels sprouts that are just pared off. So I'm going to saute those up with some onions, and we're going to throw those on the salad and just top it with dressing. So I took the liberty of kind of measuring everything out, so this didn't take like a super long time. So a classic fathead dough. It's got the mozzarella and the cream cheese in here. We're going to microwave this real quick. So he said 1 minute and then stir it, another minute, stir it. So if you want the amounts of all these ingredients in this recipe, just check out his channel, HighFalutin Low Carb. It's his pig in a blanket original recipe battle. But I got coconut flour in here, xanthan gum, baking powder, and some seasonings. So onion, garlic, and some Italian seasoning. And then it's just that, egg, and butter. That's going. I'm going to crack my eggs. I'm going to give these a little whisk. I'm going to give the mozzarella and cream cheese a stir. Woo, hot there. If any of you guys know anything keto, really, fathead dough is one of the first things you learn about. You're like, I can make pizza. You pretty much can make anything out of the fathead dough. 1 more minute. I've literally made pretty much anything. I made even hot pie crust. Used it as hot pie crust before. HighFalutin also has a battle video with cinnamon rolls, and there is a fathead dough cinnamon roll recipe. So once that's out, we're just going to combine butter, the egg, and all the flour mixture. I already sifted this, measured it, and sifted it so that there's no lumps in it. Okay. Nice and hot and bubbly. We're going to add the butter. This is kind of warm. I think my microwave is a little bit more powerful than Wes's microwave. It is a professional. I don't want the eggs to scramble. I also got parchment paper here to roll out our dough, which is moving all over the place. Mix everything together. If you've ever made fathead dough before, you know it's better usually to get in there with your hands to make it into a dough. If it gets too stiff on you, you can always put it back in the microwave for a couple of seconds, but my cheese was very warm, so it looks like it is forming a pretty good dough. Now, this recipe makes enough to wrap 12 hot dogs. We can't eat 12 hot dogs between me and my boyfriend, so I'll be cutting this in half, and one of these days this week we'll probably make a small pizza out of it or something. It lasts in the fridge for a couple of days. So that's our dough there. We're going to take it between two pieces of parchment paper. Actually, first I'm going to cut this right in half. If you want to really keep track of your macros, you want to do a good job of making sure how much you're eating exactly. So I'm going to take this and weigh it out. So 1 pound, 2 ounces. So 9 ounces per. So I'm going to take 9 ounces off of here, and I'll just wrap it up in plastic wrap. Pretty close. There we go. Wrap that up for later. I already have my oven preheated to 400 for these hot dogs to cook. They take about 20 minutes, so while that's cooking, I'll make the Brussels sprouts. I got my other piece of parchment here. I want to just try to roll this out into a rectangle of sorts. But like the thumbnail said, wanted to talk about keto and what I follow. I initially I kind of gradually got into keto. It wasn't like I'm doing this today, and I've been watching YouTube videos about it for months and pretty much since January. And I really just wanted to eat healthier in general. I watch Flav City, which he's all about body-approved products, and tells you all the bad things that come in all your everyday foods, all the different oils and chemicals and stuff like that. So I really just started out watching him and getting like just healthier foods, which pretty much he follows more paleo, which is kind of what I started with, was coconut sugar, like trying to just cut out refined white sugar. And then eventually I found some keto YouTube channels, and mainly Keto Connect. And just a lot of people have been, saying how good it is for them to lose the weight that they wanted to lose and stuff like that. So, and I know I have an addiction to sugar. So I figured cutting out carbs altogether, or pretty much most of them, would probably be the best bet for me. Just because it's my weakness for sure. So like when I first started everything, I was eating like sweet potatoes and stuff like that. Stuff that was not low carb, but better carbs for you. Brown rice. I always ate brown rice, but trying to stick away from white rice and all that stuff. But I realized with my family history of diabetes and stuff, I should probably just try and cut sugar altogether, which is why I started doing keto. So this is about a little less than a 1/4 inch thick, I think. I'm going to cut this into 6 strips. And if anybody knows me, they'll tell you I am very frugal. So I hate the fact that you have to use 2 pieces of parchment to roll this out. And then he had a piece of parchment on his pan to bake them. I'm just using the top layer to bake the hot dogs on. Should be perfectly fine. I'd use a knife also, but I'm just going to use a pizza cutter. And the best way to get the pieces you want to get 6 out of this, because the whole recipe is 12. So you just cut it in half. Then you cut each half into thirds, which is still might be a little bit too much. I'm going to just drag off the ends. I'll weigh those and figure out how much I'm not using. There we go. So I got 6 strips here. This one's even still a little thick. Cut that down. Same benefit with a little less carbs, that's what I say. The more you can cut out of a recipe, the better. So I try to stay under 50 is the max. That's like on the days, like we went camping this weekend and I drank, some Trulies and stuff like that, which does have sugar in it. But I would like to be under 20 grams of carbs a day. And I do pretty well. I'm really bad at tracking my macros, though. I try to just make sure that, like this dough, I know he said is 2.5 carbs per strip. And these hot dogs we got, I actually got these ones for camping, the cheddar brats. They're super good. And they're only 2 grams in net carbs for each one of them. So 4 for these guys. Well, so 2, 4, 5 for 2 of them. And then I got these guys here, the natural uncured Applegate hot dogs, which we enjoy. And these are no carbs. So we're gonna have 1 of these and 2 of the cheddars each. So that's 5. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 9, and then 10, 11 and a half. That's 11 and a half carbs for the hot dogs. And then we're just having salad with some Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts have a little bit, but I don't worry a ton about my veggies having a lot of carbs in them because I feel like everybody needs veggies and they're good for you. They got the fiber and everything in there too. So you're just wrapping them like pigs in a blanket. These are still even more. This makes a lot of dough. Like literally, I only took, half the dough, and they're big strips. So you can even probably do less than that, and you'll still get a good result. But if you guys don't know HighFalutin Low Carb, I definitely suggest checking him out. I enjoy all his videos. We got 4 of those. I'm just going to do 2 of these guys. These guys are even thinner, so I might take some more dough off of this. These are little guys. Those other ones were a little bit fatter. I want them to still look like pigs in a blanket. Want to see a little bit of the pig. There we go. There you go. We got 6 pigs in a blanket. They're going to take, like I said, about 18 minutes. I'm going to throw them in for just 9 minutes. I'm going to turn them so that they bake evenly. I even don't like throwing out this piece of parchment, but I don't need it right now, so I'm not going to need it in the future. Not too far in the future. So I'm going to wrap up the rest of this dough. I'm going to weigh out what I didn't use. Well, I'll just weigh out the whole thing. It's still warm. So that's 11 ounces there. So now I know for kind of how much carbs I am eating tonight. Which I really haven't had much to eat today anyway. Oh, we did have a keto donut at breakfast. And I might have tried another one because I might have filmed the video with some sour cream keto donuts. Should be out on Friday. You got a little sneak peek. I'm just going to wrap this up nice and tight. Store it in the fridge for another meal. Wrap up the rest of the hot dogs. If you haven't tried these Applegate beef franks, I really suggest them. They're good for just even breakfast with eggs. They're only 110 calories and 0 carbs. Can't really beat it. Clean up a bit, and then I'm going to chop up some onions. Saute up my Brussels sprouts. I'm just going to use a little bit of onion. Onions do have some carbs in them. So for camping, I try to keep all the food pretty keto friendly. The hardest part is snacks, really. Everybody wants or has chips on them and stuff like that. So we actually stopped and bought a bunch of pork rinds, which that's another thing with the keto. So I try to do like more of a strict keto, all good fats and no maltodextrin. And there's a bunch of other different things that, people that do lazy keto or dirty keto, it's just whatever the carbs is, it's fine as long as it's low carb. But I try not to eat stuff with bad oils and stuff like that. So we did get some pork rinds that were a little bit crappy ingredients, but eating those I feel like is better than eating a handful of Lay's potato chips. So we grabbed those. Like I said, I had some Trulies, which they're still cane sugar, which I try to avoid, but they're 2 to 3 carbs each. So I had some of those, but of course I regretted it. I feel so great on keto and, sticking away from all that stuff. And when I do, break it or just, have a drink or 2 or 6, it takes me a really long time to recover, and it's not good. So So I try not to do it too often. I'm actually going back to work. So this was kind of our last weekend to get out. We can finally camp because our campgrounds are finally open. So we got out there and I indulged a little bit, but going back to work 5-6 days a week. And I'm going to be sticking to keto, hopefully. As long as I have you guys watching, I'll be hopefully making desserts and figuring out new recipes. And I'll have my fridge stocked with keto sweets. So that way I don't eat all the pastry goods at my work. And hopefully I just stick to eating meats there and try to get my fats in at home. Because they don't have a lot of good oils and stuff. It's the typical restaurant, most places. They have extra virgin olive oil, but that's pretty much it. So I'll be doing that. Yeah. Back to work. So I'm just heating up some avocado oil and butter in a pan to saute up some onions. I'm going to keep this kind of low because I want to sweat the onions real good and get them all nice and caramelized. You're not even watching? You're not helping at all anymore. You're not helping me out at all anymore. I'm just sauteing those up. I'll be salt and peppering them. Huh? No. Yeah, I was wondering why I was hoping you were watching. But... probably put some garlic in there too. Make them oniony garlic Brussels sprouts. So I don't have a ton here. You see, just a little bit I couldn't fit in the pan when we were cooking over a fire, or charcoals at the fire pit. So saute those up just for a little extra something on the salad. There's some asparagus pieces in there too. So that'll be a nice addition to the salad. So for condiments for these hot dogs, obviously you can do just no sugar added ketchup or something, which is really hard to find a clean one. This is the one I have. It has natural flavors and it's sucralose, which is fine for dirty keto or lazy keto. But I try to stick away from this. But I do use this. I don't even like ketchup by itself. I just bought that to make my own barbecue sauces because we have been, grilling ribs and stuff this year, and, ribs without barbecue is kind of meh. So I've been making my own with that no sugar added ketchup. But I just bought from Thrive Market. I just bought garlic aioli with avocado oil. So I'm excited to try this with my hot dogs. I know it's weird, but it's either that or ranch, which is also weird. But I don't eat condiments really, so kind of what you gotta do. Okay, that's 9 minutes. We're gonna turn them. And do another 9 minutes. Now, they didn't get super brown. You should really egg wash them, but again, I said I'm kind of frugal, and you need a whole egg for all 12. And it makes them look pretty, but they're gonna taste the same either way. But definitely gonna try this. Smells garlicky on my hot dogs. My boyfriend will probably have ketchup and whatnot. I do have a little bit of my homemade barbecue sauce left over, so I might use that and dip some of those cheddar brats in them. Can you hear me fine?
I hear you.
Thanks. Okay, so these are softened a little bit. I'm going to dump in the Brussels sprouts. Kind of a lot of onions for them with Brussels sprouts, but oh well. I want to try to not move these too much and give them color. I'm really bad at that, though. I'm very impatient, and I like to stir things. I'm going to get our salads out. One day we were going to have like tuna wraps and stuff for lunch, but I really didn't eat much lunch. We had like a decent size breakfast, and then I kind of just either snacked or just, picked at something. So we had a bunch of lettuce and tomato chopped up. So we got that to eat tonight. I'm going to season these up a little bit because lettuce is kind of bland, and I think if a lot of people don't like salads, it's because they're not seasoned. You salt, pepper, some onion flakes, but we have the onions already. So then again, I go and flip them. They could have taken another couple minutes. But I'm going to do some salt and pepper on them. And then, I'm not sure what dressing I want. I got this Greek dressing, and I got balsamic Primal Kitchen. So I actually got this off Thrive Market, which I do recommend Thrive Market. They are great, especially just when you're just so busy you can't go shopping. And also, all their products are really keto friendly. You can literally type in keto and all the products will come up. Or if you're paleo or Whole30 or any of those things, you can see all the products they have. And they usually are cheaper. The only reason I haven't ordered some stuff from them lately is because they were actually really back ordered from having so many people sign up at once that they ended up getting backlogged on all their orders. So because I'm recipe testing so much, that I go through so much Lecanto monk fruit sweeteners and the flours and all the different products, that I had to just go to Amazon and get a bunch of stuff, which I have my Amazon affiliate underneath most of my videos. So if you click on those, you can find the products I use. But I do like Thrive Market, and I will be ordering from them once, things kind of cool down a little bit. I got a whole order this week, and it only took 4 days, but the last order I put in took almost like a month. It was like 20 days or something like that. And I really needed the product, so I had to just order some on Amazon, and then by the time they got there, I needed it again anyways, so it worked out. Trying to cook these, get some color on them. I blanched them, but I probably should have blanched them a little bit longer. They're still like a little bit hard. I'm going to add some more oil to the pan too, because it looks like it's getting a little dry. And since I haven't chopped up garlic and I don't really feel like it, I'm just going to do some garlic powder. And yes, I need a step stool to get into my spice cabinet. There we go. Huh? Yeah, me and you.
How are you?
I'm just a viewer. Like, it just counts me, I guess. It's been at 1 since I've been on. I'm debating on adding cheese to this salad. There's cheese in the brats, but we can always use more, right? You want cheese on your salad?
Sure, please.
What kind? Because I'm putting Brussels sprouts on it. I don't know. Cheddar would probably go best. Cheddar would probably go best with the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have cheddar. I lied. We have Fiesta. We got Fiesta blend. Now, technically, I guess this stuff is considered dirty keto just because it has potato starch in it, which you're not supposed to have any kind of potato or legumes or anything. But cheese is good. I'm eating a lot less cheese. When I first started keto, I was eating a lot of cheese. Probably way too much cheese. So now I limit it quite a bit. So I added a lid to this just to kind of steam them a little bit too, because they're still pretty hard and I want them softer. Those look nice and crispy now. Really soak up a lot of oil when you cook Brussels sprouts. Good way to get all your fats in the day. Give it a couple more on that side. Flip them over a little bit. Sometimes what I do too is if they're getting a little bit too brown or the onions are cooking too much, add a tiny bit of water. That way it steams a little bit. And also it gets all that good brown stuff off the bottom. Or I'll throw an ice cube in there. That's a good way to steam your stuff and get all the flavorful stuff off the bottom. And what kind of dressing do you want for dinner?
Oh. Let's do that ranch.
The Sir Kensingtons?
Yeah.
So we got this ranch, which has all good ingredients, I believe. Oh, it's high oleic sunflower oil, which isn't the best. But, of course, me being picky, this has too much dill in it for me. So I had it the other day, and I'm like, nah, not so much. So I still got to find a good keto ranch dressing. Because I did have Primal Kitchens, and it just wasn't that good. I don't know. It was kind of meh. Missing that, it was like, kind of like half creamy. It wasn't like super creamy. So, I don't know. I haven't found a ranch I like yet. Oh, they done. Okay, so check them. Rated 18. They look good though. Pigs in a blanket. I actually want these Brussels sprouts to cool down a little bit before I put them on the salad. I don't think that's going to happen. So, kill our oven. They're light. Hey, we need some plates. So another reason I did the veggies, besides the fact that we had them and needed to use them, was because this is pretty high in fat. Fathead dough literally is what it says. It is fat. It's a lot of fat and calories. So pairing something like this with a salad is usually a good idea if you're doing keto. Make sure you don't go over your calories for the day. It's really easy to do on keto, I feel like. But I've noticed a lot, I'm not that hungry most of the time. I don't usually eat breakfast. I'll usually have like a little snack sometime before dinner, but really don't eat that much. I usually eat one meal and dessert. And I'm hoping to stick with that when I return to work. it's so hard. My willpower is just atrocious. So I'm hoping to be able to stick to this and just, even though I'm not hungry, just try to not pick at things. And hopefully that'll be good. So I'm going to get that barbecue sauce. I love these little containers. I don't even know where I got them from. They're like little tiny like dressing containers. But they're good for when I have little amounts left. I always have I need to just make a big batch of this barbecue sauce. Because I always have just a tiny bit left after ribs. And I'm going to get another one to dip. Put the mayo in. About 2 tablespoons worth, which is 0 carbs and 200 calories. Not too bad. And you just want ketchup? You want mustard?
Just ketchup.
And hot sauce. You can pick whatever hot sauce you want. I don't know which one would go with hot dogs. Pan is all cool. Some of that. Put some of our garlicky, oniony Brussels sprouts on top of our salad. Okay, I got a couple more Brussels sprouts. There we go. Good. So that is my keto meal. Should be pretty delicious, especially because all I've had is a couple donuts today. But so these donuts, like I said, the video will be coming out Friday. I'm going to try to change up the schedule a little bit, and I'm going to try to do my new videos every Friday and go live every Monday, because I'm probably not going to be working Monday nights, and that's pretty much the only night I'm going to be cooking dinner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, if you guys watch it later. And hopefully I will see you on a live stream at some point. And let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of topics you want to talk about or anything you want to know about me. And I guess that'll be it.